All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today. I'm Kristen. If you haven't met me before, I live in Gainesville, Florida, and I do these classes every couple weeks to give us all a chance to get together for just a few minutes out of the week and to learn some really simple and gentle and easy ways to resource safety in our very own body. We all live in bodies. Our bodies are always working in service of our survival, and that includes wanting to provide us safety. And there are different things that we can do with our bodies to come into relationship with them that send cues of safety to our nervous system and help our nervous system settle into a place of greater connectedness and ease, as opposed to rushing around in the fight, flight, survival state, or being more of in a shut down or collapsed survival state. So the practices that we do together here are intended to help us just shift a little bit more toward that safe and connected ventral vagal state. And we're all going to experience them differently, depending on our systems, depending on what we're showing up with today. And you get to try these on and just see how they fit for you right now. And everything that I offer is an invitation. So I'm inviting you to try these things out with me. And having said that, if there's any sense that you have as we're going along that your body needs something different than what we're doing, or that it needs to pause, or it needs to slow down, or it needs to stop, then I invite you to listen to that and to trust that over whatever it is I'm doing. You can always pause and stop and just watch what I'm doing, or just listen. That's totally okay also. So listen to what your system needs over what I'm suggesting. And I hope your system likes what I'm suggesting. Like I said, we get to try them out together. Today, we're going to just do some simple self-touch. Touch is a basic need for safety for all of us across the lifespan. We pay attention to it a lot in developmental years and with little infants and babies, and then we grow up and get to be big adults and forget that touch is so important. And a lot of us are really touch deprived. And the great thing is that we can offer gentle and compassionate touch to ourselves, and we can do it in a way that is just what our nervous system needs. We can adjust pressure, we can adjust pace, and self-touch can be a way to resource the body that can be very comforting and containing and grounding. So that's what we're going to do today. And before we jump into that touch and that practice, I want to start in the same way we always start, which is just with a gentle invitation to check in with how you are, and how your body and system is, and how you're showing up right now. So there's no wrong way to do that. Whatever helps you turn gently toward your present moment experience, whether that's keeping your eyes gently open with a soft gaze, or closing your eyes, or placing your hands somewhere on your body to connect with it a little bit. Any of those are options. And just gently maybe dropping in the question of, how am I right now in this present moment? Just noticing sensation, noticing your sense of anything, whether it's thoughts or emotions or energy. Sensing into, how are you right now, physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, spiritually, any or all of the above. Just acknowledging where we are. And if it feels right, we can go one step further and from noticing, and we can name what it is we're noticing. So maybe there's a word or two or a phrase that bubbles up to describe or match what it is we're noticing about our present moment experience. So we're pausing and noticing and naming where we are right now. And if you're here with me live and you feel like sharing in the chat what it is you're noticing and naming, you're welcome to do that. You also don't have to do that. It's okay to keep these things close and just for us. And so whatever we're showing up with right now, this is the way I like to look at this is what I'm offering this practice for me in this present space and moment right now. And even that in itself can be a nice practice, but we're going to do more than that. Yeah. So we can hold that near, we can put it to the side, you know, like if we're noticing something uncomfortable about our present moment experience that feels really close, it can be helpful to kind of like sit right next to it, you know, or sit across from it. And we can offer our body some simple gestures and see how our system responds. All right, so I'm going to stay seated as I do this. You're welcome to be seated with me. You can also do this laying down, or you could do this standing up. If you're feeling like a little sleepy or nodding off and you want to invite a little bit more energy into your system, then standing up can be a good way to do that. But for me, sitting with my back supported feels good, so that's where I'm going to stay. And we're just going to offer some simple self-touch on our upper extremities. So we're going to touch one side and then touch the other side. We'll do each side in a couple different ways, a few different times. Doesn't matter which side we start with, but I'll invite you to take one hand that's going to do the touching and let it come over to opposite upper chest. And on my next exhale, I'm gently just going to press in softly with soft pressure to my upper chest. And then I'm going to let my whole hand slide down my upper arm, my forearm, and off my hand. And I'm raising my forearm on hand so you can see, but you don't have to raise yours. You can just let it be relaxed in your lap if you want to. We're going to do that a couple more times. So crossing hand to opposite chest, inhaling, gently exhaling and pressing in. And then letting the hand sweep or slide over the shoulder, over the upper arm, down the forearm, and off the back of the hand. And we'll do that a few more times. So gently pressing into the upper chest, sweeping down the arm. And as you do this, maybe you notice the sensation of your hand that's doing the sweeping and what it's feeling as it's touching. Or maybe you notice sensation in the arm that's being touched. Either of those can be places to have your awareness or attention. I'm going to go to the same side. Gently pressing into the upper chest. It's almost like a little hand hug. And then sweeping out the shoulder, the arm, and the forearm, off the back of the hand. And rest. And let's do one more time on that side. So again, starting by gently pressing in to the top of the chest, and then slowly sweeping shoulder, arm, forearm, back of hand. And just pausing for a moment there, maybe noticing anything else that you notice through your whole system or body, not in an analytical way, but just with awareness and taking in. Knowing that your eyes can be open or closed as we do this, either is okay, and either can serve us in different ways in different moments. And now we're going to go do the same thing on the other side. So I'll invite you, if you like, to cross your opposite hand to the top of the chest. And on the exhale, just gently pressing in. And then sweeping down the shoulder, arm, forearm, and hand. Pausing before we come back up to the chest. Gently pressing in on the pause. And allowing your touch to be one of care and compassion just as your body is right now. And again, if you like, when you're ready, hand to opposite chest, sweeping down the shoulder, arm, forearm, and hand. And again, if you're going at the same pace as me, gently pressing in, sweeping out the shoulder, arm, forearm, and hand. And then let's do one more time on that side. So on the exhale, gently pressing into the top of the chest and sweeping one more time up the shoulder, the arm, the forearm, and the back of the hand. And maybe pausing now to notice what's happening in your breath, noticing if you need to readjust your seat at all, noticing where you feel the surfaces underneath you or behind you that are supporting you. So under your thighs or your legs or your feet, against your back if it's up against a chair or bed or a wall. And now we're going to go back to that first side and offer just a little bit different sort of touch. We're going to start in the same way though. Crossing hand, flat hand, palm of hand and fingers to the opposite chest and gently giving a little bit of pressure on the exhale. We're going to sweep to the shoulder and stop there for a moment and just give it a really gentle squeeze. And then we're going to sweep down the arm until we come to the elbow and give the elbow a gentle squeeze also. And then we'll sweep down the forearm and come to the wrist and give the wrist a gentle squeeze. And then continue sweeping off the hand. So when we're offering these gentle squeezes, these aren't meant to be gripping. They're not meant to create any particular strain in your hand that's doing the squeezing or in the joint that you're squeezing. The pressure doesn't have to be a lot. It can be the amount of pressure that feels just right for you. So just keep those things in mind that you can adjust any of those. When I'm offering touch in this kind of way, it feels like, kind of like I said before, like different ways for the hand to give the body hugs. And this like gentle squeeze kind of particularly feels like that. The thumb can be wrapping around or it can be on the same side. Yeah, so let's do that a couple times more on that first side. So coming to the upper chest, if you like. Gently pressing in on the exhale. Sweeping to the shoulder and pausing there to give that joint a gentle squeeze or a little hug. Sweeping down the arm to the elbow, outside of the elbow, pointy part of the elbow, giving that a gentle squeeze. And then sweeping down to the wrist, giving the wrist a gentle squeeze. And then sweeping off the back of the hand. Maybe again, just taking a moment to notice how your system's responding, not analyzing, just noticing. Coming back up to upper chest. On the exhale, gently pressing in. Sweeping to the shoulder, offering a gentle squeeze. And if your eyes are open, you can even let them softly look at where your hand is touching your shoulder, if that feels right. Sweeping your hand down, letting it pause and stop. Offer a gentle squeeze to the elbow. Sweeping down the forearm to the wrist, offering a gentle squeeze there. And then sweeping off the back of the hand. And pausing there before we go to the other side. Noticing if your body needs anything else, if it needs to wiggle or move, or if you find yourself wanting to orient a little bit with your eyes and your head, looking around the room that you're in. Before we come back to bringing the second hand to the second side, upper chest. And on the exhale, gently pressing in. And then sweeping, just like we did, to the shoulder to give a gentle squeeze. Down the arm to the elbow, gentle squeeze. Down the forearm to the wrist, gentle squeeze there. And then off the back of the hand. Let's do that again. So hand on the upper chest, gently pressing in, sinking in. It feels more of a sinking than a pressing to me on the exhale. Sweeping to the shoulder. Gentle squeeze. Little hand hug. And the arm to the outside elbow. Gentle squeeze. Down the forearm to the wrist. Gentle squeeze. And off the back of the hand. And we'll go one more time with that pausing and squeezing on that opposite side. Hand at the upper chest, gently sinking on the exhale. And then when you're ready, sweeping to the shoulder. Sweeping down the arm to the elbow. And sweeping down the forearm to the wrist. Before we sweep off the back of the hand. Great. All right. The last one we're going to do is going to be a sweeping motion as well, but we've been going down kind of the front and the top of the arm and forearm. And this time we're going to start by going up the underside and the back as well or as far as you can reach. We all have different bodies and we all have different ranges of motion. So you don't have to strain yourself in order to reach all the way around or all the way under. Just in whatever way feels accessible and easy for you. I'm going to shift my camera a little bit and move back just a tad more. And so we've been starting at the shoulder and sweeping down, but this time we're going to start at the wrist and bring the hand that's touching underneath the underside of the wrist. And we're going to sweep slowly up the bottom of the forearm, up the back or the side of the upper arm, come around the shoulder, and then sweep down the front and the top and off. So let's do that a few more times, starting under the forearm, sweeping under, up, around, down the front, down the top, and off the hand. And again, starting at the wrist, sweeping up, around the back, around the shoulder, down the front, down the top, and off the hand. So now it's like we're encompassing the whole, more whole of the arm. Coming up the bottom of the forearm, side or back of the arm, around the shoulder, down the front, down the top, and off the hand. Let's do that one more time on this side. Forearm, arm, around the shoulder, down the front, down the top, and off the hand. And as you're doing this with me, the natural tendency and invitation is to follow the pace that I'm following, but you can see how if you're doing this on your own, then you can come up with the pace that feels just right for you. And the pace that you're offering this touch can even change through the practice. You may start more slowly and then end up going to a brisker pace, or the opposite may be true. Just depends on what you're coming to the practice with. So let's do the same thing on the other side, starting underneath the wrist, sweeping up the bottom of the forearm, the back or the side of the arm, around the shoulder, and down the front, down the top, and off the hand. Pausing in between, up the back of the forearm, up the back of the arm, around the shoulder, down the front, down the top, and off the hand. I'm noticing my own breath changing as we go further along. Traveling up the bottom of the forearm, up the back or side of the arm, sweeping around the shoulder, down the front, the top, and off the hand. Let's do that another time. Underneath the forearm, up the arm, around the shoulder, down the arm, down the forearm, and off the hand. And once more on that same side, coming up the bottom, around the shoulder, and down all the way off the hand and fingertips. And then allowing your arms to be at rest and your body to be at rest in whatever way it likes. If it needs or wants to wiggle or move, you can let it do that. If your eyes were closed, you can allow them to open, or if they were open, you can allow them to close for a moment. Anything that helps you now turn toward your present moment experience after we've done that short practice. So in the same way that we did at the beginning, just checking in with ourselves and noticing what we notice right now. Maybe our breath and the surfaces that are supporting us come to our attention. Maybe we notice something about our energy or internal sensation or mental or emotional experience, turning toward whatever's showing up for us right now. And maybe remembering what was showing up before that we had acknowledged, if it's changed or if it's different. And if you like, as you're pausing and noticing, you can also name what you're noticing right now with a couple words or a phrase. And if there's anything that you're noticing and naming about your present moment experience that feels safe or good or easy or okay or peaceful or any of those kinds of things, then we can let ourselves just be with that for a moment. This is also part of resourcing our body to find safety, as we find these glimmers or these micro moments of a little bit safer, a little bit easier, and then we practice resting in that, even if it's just for 10 seconds. Can my system learn to be with ease and goodness and okayness, even right now, even for just a little bit? And you may even, if it feels right, want to thank your body and your system for being with you through that right now. and showing up with you for this practice today. I thank you for being here and being with me and trying these practices out with me. I do something different, a little bit different every week. And if you do this with me for a while, then sometimes we'll do things that look similar, like self-touch is a resourcing tool that I go to a lot. Upper extremities are a really good place, easy, accessible place to offer that. And there's lots of different ways that we can do it, but we do different things too. So I hope you'll try this out again with me in the future. I will send out the replay and it'll stay active for a couple weeks until our next class together. So you can always revisit it if you like. And you're always welcome to email me or message me with any feedback or questions or anything like that. I'm going to say goodbye to now. I'm going to stop the recording and then get off just momentarily after that. But thanks again so much for being here. I'll see you next time.